Hello. Today I wanted to do a little bit of an analysis of the metagame, and with one specific thing in mind here. So I wanted to look at the KC Cup, the recent one that finished up not too long ago, and I wanted to look at some of the decks and some of the themes that we saw and what we can expect moving forward. Because when I took a look through, there was one finding that was really interesting to me, and it may tell where we see the future of a lot of the stuff playing. Or at least for right now, where we can find really strong decks that are going to be consistent, but still powerful. So I'll click into the tournaments, and we'll go to the KC Cup here. We're on Duel Links meta, obviously. And if I scroll to the bottom here, the first thing I'm going to highlight here is kind of the cross out with a lot of the decks. So this ban list was really, really hard hitting. And not that it's, unpredictable or unprecedented, but the top decks here are taking a big hit. We can have the discussion of whether it's enough to make them just not viable, if there's alternatives you can do to still make them playable. But I don't think they're going to be top 100 after this for almost all of them. So that's going to include, at least on this page, I'm not going to go through all the pages of the no longer legal ones, but we're looking at Synchrons, we're looking at Code Talker Live with Salamangreat. We're talking about Resonators, we're talking about Mech Knights, we're talking about, those are good examples there. And the other thing on this page that I'll highlight quickly is the two that don't have the cross out are Hero Alliance and Treason Phantom, and one more that I'll add to this would be the Dark Magician's deck with the skill that they use, where the cards were not added to the ban list, but I don't think it is out of the question if we were to see kind of a skill ban or a skill nerf there more of, to make them a little less consistent, because those are the skills that make them very, very difficult to deal with. So keep an eye out, because these are changes that are happening quickly. So I think the next question we have to ask ourselves is what comes next, right? What comes looking forward? I know we have a little while until there's another major tournament, but like, what can we take away here? What can we, think about in the future? So with that, I'm going to click on ban list legal and see how this changes. And there is something that kind of jumps out. So I'm going to ignore the Hero Alliances, the Treason Phantoms, the Magician's Magic, and we're seeing United Pendulums with the Self-Accord deck. We are seeing the Odd Eyes deck. And I'll click through the pages here, but we start to see a bit of a theme. We have a little bit of representation of Madolche and of the World Chalice there, but a lot of Self-Accord on this page. Next page, we have two Metalphos, including one top 10 global, which is incredible. And the same thing kind of we see with the next page too. So Pendulum Summoning is absolutely alive and well. Now, Self-Accord is brand new, and obviously very powerful with a lot of the representation here. But when we look at something like Metalphos, has been around for a long time, and same can be said about the Odd Eyes deck as well. There's something to be said about just consistent decks that people really learn to play well and perform with. Sure, you can argue there's a little bit of luck. There are probably a lot of people playing these decks that didn't make it quite as far, but you don't need to take like the tier 2 or even tier 3, tier 1, whatever decks and think this is the one that's going to get me into the top 100. You can work with the Pendulum deck right now and get top 100. There's no DDD, which I would argue is like the other version of Pendulum deck that would be as popular, which was recently in the tier list. I think it dropped off, but either way, Pendulum Summoning is alive and well. This game does a really good job of varying what the most common or popular type of summoning is at any given time, where let's say like Link Summoning was the most recent to be released, doesn't mean all of the metagame is doing Link Summoning. It can go back to say Pendulum is very popular, Fusion is top tier. It could be anything. Synchro Summoning, which we saw recently too with the Synchrons deck and the Resonators deck. Really fun kind of balance of all of those things, but I think often Pendulum is the one that doesn't get as much love or is seen as much by players. So Pendulum Summoning is alive and well. I think Self-Accord is probably not going to get hit by the skill nerf at all, or definitely the ban list for at least another month, possibly longer. So if you're wondering where you can put your attention moving forward, I think we've found one place with Pendulum Summoning overall that you can latch onto. So hope this has been insightful, and hopefully these are decks that you can look a little further into and have some fun with. So let me know your thoughts below. Are you open to working with Pendulum decks where maybe you haven't in quite a while? Is this new information to you, or is it something that you had picked up on yourself, or anything like that? Happy to hear your thoughts.